They judged her long before they ever knew her. Every time she visited her husband's family home, she could feel the whispers floating around the living room like cold air. She's not good enough for him. She just wants what he has. She's not one of us. But she smiled anyway, not because she was weak, but because she refused to let bitterness shape her. Her husband noticed the tension, but never spoke up. And she remained silent, choosing peace over confrontation. Until the day everything changed. Her husband suddenly fell sick, weak, pale, unable to even stand. Calls went out. Family members rushed in with panic and loud voices, all demanding answers she didn't have. But she was the one who stayed. While they argued, she cooked his meals. While they complained, she washed his clothes. While they questioned her loyalty, she held his hand at night, whispering, "You'll be fine. I'm here." One evening, his mother walked into the room and froze. There she was, the same woman they whispered about, kneeling beside the bed with a bowl of warm water, gently wiping her son's face. Her own dinner was still untouched. Her eyes were tired, but full of love. For the first time, the room went quiet. And the truth spoke louder than any rumor ever could. His mother's voice trembled. "All this time, you were the one holding him together." The woman didn't say a word. She didn't need to. Because sometimes, truth isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It reveals itself in moments of kindness. Moments only a real heart can give. From that day on, no one whispered about her again. They didn't have to like her, but they respected her. Because love, the kind that stays when things fall apart, is the strongest truth of all. After that night, the house changed. The whispers stopped. But the silence that replaced them was heavier. Everyone moved around carefully, ashamed, avoiding her eyes. She didn't gloat. She didn't act victorious. She simply continued caring for her husband the way she always had, quietly, tenderly, faithfully. But the truth wasn't done speaking. One afternoon, as she was helping him sit up to take his medicine, he reached for her hand, the first time in weeks he had the strength to do so. His voice was weak but honest. "I heard everything," he whispered. She froze. "What did you hear?" He took a breath. "The whispers, the doubt, and how you stayed even when they pushed you away." Tears gathered in her eyes, but she held them in. This wasn't the moment for breaking. He looked at her with guilt, the kind that comes from watching someone love you more than you loved yourself. "I should have defended you," he said. "I should have spoken up." She shook her head gently. "It's in the past." But he held her hand tighter. "No. They need to hear the truth. From me." That evening, he asked everyone to gather, his parents, siblings, cousins, the same people who once questioned her heart. The room was full, but the air was tense. He cleared his throat and spoke slowly. "You judged the wrong person. You doubted the only one who stayed when all of you left. She carried me, fed me, held me up. And I'm ashamed that I let you treat her the way you did." The room went silent. His mother wiped her tears. His brother lowered his head. His sister hid her face. No one had ever expected him to speak like that. Then he turned to his wife, the woman who had loved him through the noise and the hurt. "If anyone here deserves respect, it's her." He paused. "She's not just my wife. She's my strength." Her chest tightened. She didn't want an apology. But she needed this moment, not for validation, but for closure. In that silence, something shifted. Not in them. In her. She finally realized. It wasn't their acceptance she needed. It was the truth, finally spoken out loud. And now, her story was no longer written by whispers. It was written by strength. After the confession, the house felt different. Not louder. Not kinder. Just honest. 4 days, she continued caring for her husband as he slowly regained his strength. His family treated her gently now, offering help, bringing meals, trying to make up for their past mistakes. But inside her heart, a quiet storm was forming. Because healing someone else had cost her pieces of herself she never admitted. Too many tears held back. Too many nights she slept beside a man who didn't defend her. Too many moments she felt invisible in a room full of people who claimed to love her. One morning, as the sun filtered through the curtains, she sat at the edge of the bed watching her husband breathe softly in his sleep. He looked peaceful. But she wasn't. She realized something. She forgave everyone. But she had forgotten to forgive herself for staying too long in a place that dimmed her light. That realization changed everything. She stood up, slowly, as if her heart grew lighter with every breath. She packed only what belonged to her, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of awakening. A soft knock came at the door. It was his mother. "You're leaving, aren't you?" she whispered. The woman nodded gently. "I stayed long enough to make sure he was safe. But now I need to be safe too." His mother's eyes filled with tears, not the tears of guilt anymore, but of understanding. "You were a blessing to this family," she said. "We just didn't see it in time." The woman smiled softly, the kind of smile that comes from strength, not pain. When her husband woke and saw her bag, panic flashed in his eyes. "You can't go," he said weakly. "Not now, not after everything." She stepped closer, brushing his hair gently. "I didn't leave when things were hard," she whispered. "But I can't stay in a place where I lost myself." He wanted to stop her, but he knew. This time, her silence wasn't patience. It was final. She walked out of the house that once held whispers, now holding her freedom. And for the first time in a long time, the only voice she listened to was her own. As she stepped into the bright morning light, she felt it. A new chapter beginning, one written with peace, dignity, and self-love. Because when the truth finally spoke, so did she. And this time, the world listened.